Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Speak Common Sense here, also known as Andrew Shields, writer, director, and actor for Pangea. So I'm about to go into how I started Pangea. When I wanted to do Pangea, when I was writing it at first, I wanted to tell myself, how can I write a story that's brand new, but yet not too hard to do for me? Because at that time, I was like really limited budget what I could do and everything. So when I was sitting there writing it at the time, I was just chilling and I was like, you know what, let me do something different than what everybody else is doing. And what I decided to do was, I was like, you know what, everyone's doing all these sci-fi films at the time. Well, no, it wasn't just sci-fi, it was horror, it was romance, and I got tired of romance and horror at the time. Yeah, it was a lot of romance and horror. So what I decided to do was, I was like, you know what, let me try something a little bit tad different, which was something in the past. And I was like, nah, if I'm gonna do something in the past, let me go far back. And at first I was gonna do cavemen, but I was like, nah, let me go even further back, further than prehistoric times. I had to do my research on a lot of it. So that's when I was like, you know what, let me do a tribal film. Because the last time we saw a tribal film nowadays, which is really rare, was I guess like, I forgot the film, but it was like 300 BC or 400 BC with the man, I forgot. It was this man at the time, and he was walking around with his tribal people, and then while he was walking around, they got kidnapped. It was a saber-tooth tiger. It was 1000 BC or something like that. So now I'm writing Pangea, and I said, am I going to write lines with this? But I was like, no, that's somewhat unintelligent, because if I write lines to this and people were talking, that kind of brings the audience out the atmosphere. Then I thought about like anime, and I thought about other cultural films like Indian film, Indian films like Bollywood, and like I said, Korean films, Chinese films, and I also thought about Spanish films. And I'm like, well, when they do things, they don't take you out of the movie. So what I did was, I kind of took a lot from them, and I said, you know what? Let me do my film with outlines. Let me do my film with what was it? Let me do my film with a different type of cultural language and put subtitles under the bottom. So that's when I started writing, and then I came across. I was like, well, I need lines so the actor will understand what the action is doing at this very time. So now I wrote myself lines. After I got done writing the script, I said to myself, how am I going to do the script? And I had to tell myself, Drew, this is a prehistoric film. Even though this is prehistoric, at the time I was thinking prehistoric films are easier to do, because all I gotta do is get some sticks, right? Well, I was wrong. Then I just realized I did something really hard to myself. Prehistoric films are harder than ever because, one, I live in a city. Okay, that's one, which is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, if y'all want to know. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Two, I had to find a place to go to film this, which would look really prehistoric. And that was the hard part. And three, the only places that was prehistoric was way outside Pennsylvania. I darn near went beyond the suburbs to a point where it was only trees, and you saw all these big giant insects, which was biting on us and stuff like that. So I had to do my research on location. Luckily, at the time, after I got done writing this and I was doing my research, I had to look at certain type of landmarks. And when I was looking at certain type of landmarks, I was looking at stuff as in like desert landmarks, forest landmarks, water landmarks, and I had to look at prehistoric time landmarks, which was hard. Because like I said, in today's society, in today's world climate, we don't really have different types of landscapes. And the landscapes that are preserved, clearly you can't shoot. So at this point in time, after I was writing, I had to find the landmarks. That's when it got a little bit more juicier, because I asked myself, am I going to have I'm going to need to do what's called location. I have to actually go to this location, and I don't have a car because I literally take the train everywhere I go in Pennsylvania. Yes, I'm in Philadelphia, but yes, people are going to say in the comment sections or anywhere, they're like, well, a lot of people got cars, why don't you just go get a car? No, I had to budget, because I had to save the majority of my budget for my normal life and for this film. So they got cloud service. So now everything is ready. I go get, I'm actually going to get my crew, but I needed designs at the time. And when I needed designs, I went to go help I went to go help a good friend of mine, Elena. She did actually clothes for me and the stitching for me and everything like that. When she did the clothes and stitching for me, she was actually supposed to meet up with the rest of the crew, which is my cousin Josh, and then I had my guy, what was it? Carlos. I had my videographer Carlos, and then I also had my boy Grant. I had my boy Grant, my man, and then I had, who was it? Oh, and also Kaylee. I had Kaylee with me at the time. Then on top of that, I went to go get my actors, which was Vlad and my other actor David. I had to get two big husky guys, and they actually are great actors. And then I had to get a son for this project, my fake son as they call it. And this guy named Eben. They're Eb. I always call him Eb and stuff like that. And he's a phenomenal actor too. Once I got all these people together, we finally all met up on one location, which was my house at the time. Yes, it was actually my house, which is funny. My mom woke up and was like, "What the heck all these people do at my house?" It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, but I really needed this film. Mind you, we're on a freaking budget. So then out of nowhere, by the time everyone gets to my house, we had big truck with us. My friend Jawan, he actually, which I met at CCP at the time, he came up with his big truck. We put everything in his big white truck because he was working for a truck company at the time. So back to the story. Now everybody's back at my house, and once everybody's back at my house, we're all ready about to go. But then the girl Elena that she does stitching for the costume, she was like, "Yo, I actually got stitched more. I was tired last night from whatever she was doing." I'm like, "Oh my God, Elena, come on." So then she hurries up. I had to go. Her sewing machine messes up. I had to go get this old grandma sewing machine that my mom had. I was like, thank you, clutch mom. Went to get her sewing machine. After we got her sewing machine, Elena had to learn how to use it, and then she actually stitched this stuff together. Now I'm like, all right, cool. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I have to get to the site. We all get in our cars and everything, and we're all driving. Bam! We're all hitting the road. I'm playing some music. We're all vibing. We're all hyped that we're about to go start filming. And then all I hear when we get halfway to the place is beep, 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 beep. I'm like, what the heck is that? Beep, beep. We all had to pull over to the side. Once we all pulled over to the side, my costume designer, Elena, car wound up breaking down. You cannot be serious right now. Her car broke down. And I'll see if I got video for that. So once our car literally broke down, I didn't know what to do. I tried to keep one of the crew people there for help, but I need majority of the crew people with me. So once I kept one over there to help her, make sure she was all right and everything, I was like, all right, y'all, the rest of us, let's all get to the destination. So at one point, some people, she was a little mad at me at the time. I'm like, I'm sorry, Elena. Look, I'm gonna have somebody stay here with you to make sure you're all right. But we have to go film today. It's my only time we got to go film it. So some people get out of her car and we all bunched in. Now we all go and hop in the cars, and we hurry up and get to we hurry up and get to the location. We get to the location. We got waters and everything with us, but we didn't realize how far the trail was. Bruh, to get to that nice little beach setting with the water, the rocks and everything, we had to literally go down a huge long trail at Higgins Park. And oh my gosh, when I mean the crew was mad at me, I was like, all right, come on y'all, let's go. Because the best locations, any filmmaker knows this, the best locations are in locations that are hard to get to or you're not allowed to be in. So now we get down there, we go to the location. After everybody was crying, whining, carrying the waters, we had to take breaks. We finally get to the location. When we get to the location, I'm still technically learning how to direct at the time. So everybody was in my ear asking this, asking that. Drew, we should do it like this. I'm trying to communicate to my videographers. No, I want all one shot. And then we couldn't really move. And then we had the kids. I had the one kid with me. And at the end of the day, when the shot came out, it didn't really come out right as I wanted to come out. And then after we got done editing and everything like that, we had a great time, we had fun time, but then Lee dropped one of the cameras. Yes, he dropped my black magic. Oh, my Lord. He dropped my black magic once in the sand. I had to pick it up. Dropped my black magic second time in the sand. Had to pick that bad boy up, but to his credence, it really wasn't technically his fault. We had a tripod that wasn't really strong enough for the black magic at the time, so I kind of let him go. But the black magic didn't mess up. Our lens got messed up. Luckily, it was a cheap lens at the time. So since we had cheap lens, we had to throw. I kept the lens for a while, but I had to throw it out because we couldn't get it fixed or anything like that. So yeah, thank you, Lee. Thank you, Lee, for that one. So after we get done shooting the film, and then we leave off set, We finally all get back in the car. Once we all get back in the car, I had to give the footage to Chris at the time, Chris and Lee. Once they went to go edit the footage and everything like that, that's when I found out the guy from Film Riot, he was doing a contest. I was like, yo, I could take this little clip I got, and I could put it in the contest and hopefully get more equipment. After we got done editing it and everything, and I was ready to put it in the contest, I looked at that, I was like, no, this film is crappy. Some other people looked at it, they liked it, but I was like, no, it's not up to standards, it's not up to par. The fight scenes was crappy, the direction was crappy, and much as I wanted to blame the crew because we wasn't working together, everybody was talking over me, I had to learn as a director, no, you need to, one, be the dominant one, two, you need to be more clear, concise, and three, two, more clear, concise, and three, you have to know when to let things go and when to keep doing things. So, even though thank y'all for people who say that footage was nice and everything, but in my opinion, that footage didn't turn out really well at all. So the footage didn't turn out, it wasn't up to par. Because when you work with me, I believe things should be up to par. So now I go back to the Lion's Den. Yes, my room, man. I'm sitting there thinking I failed this project, I failed everything else. So now I look at the script again, and I say to myself, this one's going to be nice, really nice. I hit my boy Saj, went all the way out to Pennsylvania Park. Once I hit him up, that's when I literally pre-production every single small little detail of thing. What time of day it's going to be, how the actor's going to fight, how the fight scene's going to look, how many cuts is it going to be, how do I want people's hair to look. This time I really went in. I grew my hair all the way out, and for the next 2 years, I don't do nothing for the next 2 years. I work out, I start running, and I grow my hair out. That's when I got in touch with the actor CJ at the time. I got in touch with the actor CJ. Shout out to CJ. I got in touch with the actor CJ, and I was like, CJ, the kid I need for this project, I'm gonna have to ask you to give up your life. I need you to work out. I need you to be in the hot sun every single day, running, jogging. And he really did that, and I give it to him. Once he was in the hot sun jogging every day, just like me, I needed to find some other actors. There was barely any other actors who was willing to work with me on this project because they wanted a lot of money at the time. At this time, I don't have money. Plus, this is an ambitious project in the sun with 110-degree weather. Yes, it was 110 degrees outside every single day. So that's when I actually, CJ dad, he's a karate instructor. Shout out to Charles Heimlich, okay? Charles Heimlich, my guy Charles Heimlich, his dad actually came and let me use his studio at Charles Heimlich Studios, karate studio. And he actually was like, yo, Drew, I want to actually join you in this film. So he auditioned, because I tell people not anybody's gonna join my film, you have to audition. He auditioned for Heaton at the time. Heaton and he auditioned for Heaton. He is technically the tribal leader. CJ, he was my son, so he's called Pangea, which is also known as Pangea. So now he tries out for the film. He was trying out for the film, and he auditioned. I was like, it's perfect for it. So Charles, he wound up working out. I mean, always working out, doing stunts. I have my 3 main actors that I freaking really need. And now we're starting to come up with a fight scene. Every single day I went outside my backyard and I was doing crazy fight scenes. So after I was training for a fight scene outside, my next door neighbor, Reggie, he was looking at me like I was crazy. I'm training for a fight scene, I'm doing different fights, fighting with sticks, fighting with a stick. And I'm learning, and I'm trying to, it's like what boxers do. They mirror themselves actually fighting their opponent. When you mirror yourselves actually fighting your opponent, you can fight better. So I used that technique that I learned in acting class, mirroring myself or mirroring my opponent, and I kept on coming up with different tricks and techniques. At the time, I had to go rent a car from Lyft. I rented a car from Lyft, going to New Jersey, back, paying $5, New Jersey, back. One time I had my old friend Shatira from Mastery, from my high school, and she actually drove me there sometimes. Every single time we was in that studio fighting, in the studio training. It got to a point where CJ was actually getting tired at this point. And that's how bad I was pushing this guy. So I was pushing him, but I looked at CJ and I said, do you need to stop? That boy got up and looked at my eyes and said, no, Drew, I want to become a professional actor at a young age. I want people to take me serious and not call me a cute little boy. Cool. I said, this is my guy. His dad was like, look, as long as he wants to keep on doing, I'm going to let him keep on doing. I was like, that's my guy. So now we're fighting, we're doing stunts. Everything's right, everything's perfect. So now for the last day, I said, all right, y'all, we're gonna take a break for a day. I gotta go back home and cast the rest of the crew. Once I cast the rest of the crew, I wanted to do one more day of fighting. But then I realized, I was like, I know what, let me do one more refresher course with CJ so we can memorize the fighting scene. I go back with CJ and we start fighting. Every time he has to do a stunt on the ground, I'm teaching him how to do rolls on the ground stuff. He keeps saying, ow, ow, ow. And I'm like, CJ, well, no offense, but bro, why you keep crying about these stunts? I'm like, bro, you might either not doing it right or like, what, you soft or something? Like, what's going on? You was already good. He was like, I don't know, Drew, it just hurts. All right, so I tried to switch up the stunt another way that he has to roll. He rolled on the ground. He was like, crap, bro, it still hurts. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I was like, all right, let's take a break. Let's take a 5. And I talked to his dad. I was like, hey, I was like, Charles, let's go get CJ checked out. He was like, wow. I was like, I think he's good. He was like, nah, let's just go get him checked out just to make sure everything's all right. There's no bruises and stuff. So Charles was like, all right, let me go get him checked out. I go get him checked out. And guess what? I'm glad, by the grace of God, I am so glad that we did go get him checked out. It turns out he had a whole tumor on his leg. Yes, a tumor on his leg. Oh my God. So he had to go get surgery. He had to go get surgery on his leg, and they took the tumor out. Luckily, it wasn't too close to a bone, so they took it out. But it was affecting his bones and stuff like that. Once it got taken out, CJ cried a little bit. He had to look at me. He was like, Drew, I'm sorry, I can't do film. We have to move on without you. I said, CJ, no, I'm not going to move on without you. If I gotta wait, I gotta wait. So I had to push the film back again, a year again. Everybody got mad, everybody got upset. Once I pushed it back a year again, it got me time to redo pre-production. Massage and sit down and talk about location again. That's when I found my boy Wendell. I found Wendell, great guy. He actually has the Underground Studios. I found my guy Wendell. Once I found my guy Wendell, he worked with me a lot. Shout out to Wendell. He drove me everywhere I needed to go. He was like my main videographer. He was my main videographer there. Second to Josh, which is my cousin. He's not a videographer. He just learned how to do it. He's great at learning things. So now a year goes by, me and Wendell training me and him training on how to do the video, blah 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 blah. Waiting for CJ the Hill. Now finally CJ Sill. Another year later. Now it was 2022 today, so it was 2021 we did this film. In 2021. So now things get real. CJ's back. We had to do a refresher course. He's ready. He's hyped. We had to probably take a month to redo the entire refresher course. Cool. When you're practicing in the real world, you have everything there. You have everything there at your disposal. But when you're practicing in a fake location, which is, like I said, a lot of trees, a lot of the spikes that are sticking up, you gotta learn how to fight. You have to learn how to fight it this way. So yeah, at this point in time, while we're learning how to fight a different way, it was hell. When I mean it was hell because my feet was hurting, his feet was hurting, and it was actually 109 degrees outside. The crew's getting hot, the crew's getting tired. Woof! But we kept going at it until we finally got it done right. Some of y'all saying, how come it took so many shots? Well, you'll be surprised. It's actually easier to shoot different shots of a fight scene versus one shot fight scene. And when I mean one shot in film production, if you ever look at John Wick, a lot of the scenes are not cut. That one shot means it's never cut. It's never cut. The videographer is following you everywhere you had to go. So that's hard within itself. We had to actually redo the first scene of me and CJ fighting. We actually had to come back to that same location 3 times because the first time Wendell's stabilizer couldn't hold mines up. 2, with the black magic, the second time we realized I didn't have enough batteries. And 3, the third time, which we finally got right, we had to go handheld mode over the shoulder with the over shoulder rig because we didn't have the right equipment to shoot with Steadicam. So we had to learn how to be steady as best we can. Now we finally got that scene done. Once we finally got that scene done, and I tell you, it was like 109-degree weather outside, like literally 109 degrees for 3 or 4 days straight, shooting all the way out there. This is way out. It's not what's the hit against. It's the second time, so we're way out. I think we're at Pennsylvania State Park. I'll post the link in the description so y'all know. So we're at Pennsylvania State Park, and then at the end of it, we finally got it done. Like we finally got it done, that first scene. But I didn't know what was coming next. So I want to tell people the second go around, finally when I'm filming this, I had a costume designer. The costume designer was cool. I was paying him. He was cool, and apparently he got into it. We got into it for because he thought the way how we was talking to him over on social media, he didn't like certain things, and then he tried to charge me extra. He said either you will pay me this amount of money now, or I'm keeping your stuff. So basically, yeah, the costume designer stole from me, stole my costumes. I said, okay, fine, it's fine. I'm gonna find a way to still mess with this costume. So yeah, the dude stole from me, man. It was hard. It was heartbreaking because it's a guy that I trusted, I thought I got along with, because it was a miscommunication. He's just gonna steal all my costumes from me. And I said to myself, either I can try to go get these costumes back, pay him his money, or I can just accept it and just move on. And what I did was just accept it and move on, because this thief that happened, I was like, something's probably what happened to him. But yes, our costume designer basically stole all my stuff because he thought that I talked to me. So after that, I just had to take the little costumes I did and, once again, use them to my advantage and kept switching a lot of costumes out with a bunch of new actors and old actors. So yeah, that was that little journey with the costumes. Now scene 2 comes, and now this is where things are starting to get interesting. Scene 2 comes, and I have to do scene 2. I have to find another place to shoot. Luckily, Charles had another place to shoot, which was actually in New Jersey at the time. So now we're in New Jersey, but now people are calling out on me. People couldn't make it. People are calling out once again, and at this point, I don't really know what to do. I'm starting to get tired already because I've been actually spending time with them technically for 3 years straight. About 3 years, 3 or 4 years straight. So now at this point in time, I'm saying to myself, okay, people keep calling out, people don't want to do it. I understand this is a hard, excruciating film, and you're not getting paid for it, and you're in the dirt and the sand and everything. Well, not sand, but you was mainly in the dirt. So now at this time, we finally get on set, and I had my boy Wendell with me. I had Wendell with me again. I had Josh there. I barely had any actors, but luckily I had enough. I had enough actors where I can make it look like there's not a village, but there's we have like a small tribe. So I had to change it up. It was originally supposed to be a big tribe, but I now over 30 actors canceled on me literally the night before. So I only had actually like 5 actors left. So I had to come up with something right on the trick. I had to erase it. I come up with something right on the quickie, and now I'm So now I come with something right on the quickie, and now I try to bunch the actors together where I make it have a small little family, and me and my son are coming from like, let's say up a hill or behind the trees or something. Now we're shooting. Bam. That took us 8 hours to shoot, even though it was a small scene. It was actually only one shot. Kept shooting, but then, oh my gosh, guess what happened? The black magic either overheated or malfunctioned on me and just cut off. Yes, it cut off. At this point, I don't know, and I'm pissed off, I'm mad, I don't know what to do. I get home and I look at the footage, and the footage is somewhat there, but it's corrupted because of the way how it shut off. So now I had to get everybody back again and reshoot the thing again. This time Wendell couldn't make it, and it was raining outside. I was like, please, God, you can't be, please. So at this point, the actors was only come back. It was nice actors. One actor dropped, and I only got 4 actors left. I had to shoot with this day. I had to shoot. We get there, we finally do shoot. We finish it up, but it's raining at this time. I was like, ugh. So I had to tell myself, all right, okay, I'm going to have to learn how to color grade this. It's raining at this time. It's dark. It's cloudy, but we shot it. Finally, I got that done. Finally, I got that done, and I was so happy. Went home. It took us. We started at 6 in the morning. We wasn't done until we wasn't done until 6 o'clock, if I'm correct. Yeah, we wasn't done until 6 o'clock. So now we found, like I said before, now that we was finally done at 6 o'clock, I actually had to go home, and I had to go home and release all the footage on my laptop. So me and Wendell gets together again, and we have to drive back up to the place because I need another location. You're asking yourself, well, didn't you do all this location work? Yes. The old locations that I've been to before I started this film, we went up there and they wound up being destroyed. Something told me to go back up there just to check it out. They wound up being destroyed. Okay, so now the location is destroyed. So what me and Wendell had to do is walk around the entire park. We walked around the entire park. Shout out to Wendell, Underground Studios. We walked around the entire freaking park. Once we walked around the entire freaking park, we knew everything where everything's at. I knew that park like the back of my hand. Once I did that, I was like, okay, I know where to shoot now with them. But I had to find another girl because the girl I originally cast to play my wife, she wound up dropping out because she had to go back to school at the time. So there's nothing wrong with her. She had to go back to school at the time, college at the time. And so now I was thinking, where I'm gonna find my wife at? Where I'm gonna find another wife? And I thought about it. I was like, well, what about the girl? I said, what about the girl Anita? So I hit up Anita, and Anita was like, yo, I would love to be on this, yo, because this is something new. Cool. I hit up Anita, she winds up playing the part, and she's perfect for the next scene. So now, me and Anita, we go for the next scene. We go in this other forest spot. It was real clunky with the trees and everything. We go in this other forest spot, and Anita, she was having fun on set. She was wiping away all the bugs. She kept on doing. I'm like, dang, Anita, you acting like the real cave woman back in the day. So we shoot that scene. It was actually supposed to be a fight scene right there, but it wasn't safe. The ground wasn't safe, and first thing foremost, I always keep my actors safe and find another way to shoot. So I found another way to shoot the scene, and she just basically wound up smacking me. Basically, she wound up smacking me at the time, and once she wound up smacking me, I was like, okay, great, it came out great. We just got done the scene. We just finished, the entire scene all out. Then I had to do the third scene. We went back, like I said, three days later, because I was actually shooting this every other Saturday. We went back 3 days later. We went back to location. The location changed again. Something happened. It was like a bunch of beanstalks. It was real tall. So what I had to do was bring a bunch of the actors and bring them, and we was actually filming next to a playground. Yes, a playground. We was actually filming next to a playground. And we had to make it look like that was like a Pangea tribal place. So just to let y'all know, even when you pre-production, you get everything ready. Sometimes you gotta make on-the-fly changes. After that, we had to come up with a last-minute fight because the person who I did ask to do a fight for, they kind of forgot. So when they came up with a fight, we had a little low budget level fight for this scene. I think it was the fourth scene. It was either third or fourth scene. After that, I got the actors again, next Saturday again. And this was, like I said, all these are like around 120 degree. No, it wasn't 120s. It was like 108 degree weather. We had to film the last scene. The last scene, which was when all the tribal people come together and we was walking. We all filmed that in one day. Shout out to my guy John and John. Yes, both the actors are named John. The two little boys. I needed two little boys and their mothers. Thank y'all mothers for letting me trust me with y'all kids. They actually did go to this location, and yeah, man, they actually went to this location and they had fun with me. I had to make sure they was hydrated, but they actually came on the last scene with me. They was having fun. They was like, yo, Drew, this is awesome. I feel like a caveman. It was all fun and games and everything. The mothers look at me like, oh God, please take care of my John. And the funny part was, every time they said John, they both looked. So that was an awesome part. After I was done with them, I wanted to take the scene to the next level. I told all my actors, it's a wrap, we're done. I had to take this to the next level. That's when I went home and I was happy, but this is where things got even bad again. I had to reshoot again. Yes, I had to reshoot because it didn't come out right. Now I had options. Either I reshoot it and I have less characters this time, or I keep the same footage, have more characters, but it's not gonna look good. And I always tell people, I'd rather for you to take the time to reshoot and have less of what you had before and make the movie look good, because you're going to have this movie forever. So I had to come and reshoot it. The kids came back. I had my guy Anthony came back. The actor, he came back with it, and a lot of the other actors left. Now at this point, I only got 4 actors once again, 4 or 5 actors. And then this guy Norman hits me up. This Norman actor, Norman, he hits me up. He was like, "Hey, I would love to be in it." He came out. I got him in a caveman outfit, and he wanted to be in it. Yeah. So once he wound up being in it, it was actually phenomenal, man. I had 2 new people, and I had 3 of the old people, and we shot again, and it came out actually even better. I had my boy Josh, Wendell, they was helping me out. Once again, shout out to them, they helped me out. Please follow the Underground Studios, y'all. I'm telling you, there's great work. Follow my man Ashley Davidson, he got a whole glasses company. He has an entire glasses company that he sells. Please let you follow them, my guys. And so, after that, we shot the scene, I went home again. Now that I get home again, I'm thinking it's going to be nice. I'm editing the footage, and I look at this and I say, yo, something's not right. We're missing something. Dell at this point is getting pissed off at me. He's like, Drew, what in the world are we missing? I'm tired of doing this film. I'm like, Wendell, we're missing this, and we're missing this, and we're missing this. It just don't look right. So he's like, all right, Drew, it's my last time. He looked at me and said, this is my last time. I'm done doing this. Where do we have to go? We went 3 hours, 3 miles back out again, shot my scenes, which was me outside running. Those are all the running scenes. And then, for the last day, I had to shoot a running scene in the forest. A lot of people think it was 110 degrees outside. No. At this point, October was hitting, and it was actually 20 degrees outside. So behind the camera, Wendell actually has all his clothes on, and me, I'm the only one who don't have my clothes on with my little outfit. I'm acting my behind off at this point because it's literally 20 degrees outside. And he's like, holy crap, Joe, I don't know how you're doing this. So as I'm doing the running scene at the end, I actually wind up, the reason why I wound up running a little funny because it was actually spikes hitting my foot. I was bleeding all over my foot. So yes, that was the reason behind that. All in all, once it got done, it felt good. I looked at the footage and it was up to my point standards. Went back home and start editing. So now I'm editing the work. Now I'm starting to edit, and when I start to edit, I go in. I don't stop. I literally don't stop. Now I have a day job. People don't believe. Yes, I actually had a day job at the time. When I had a day job, I'll be working 8 hours a day. I'll be working 8 hours a day. By the time I get home, it'll be 6 o'clock at night. Get home, and then I'll start editing. I would literally edit until probably 1 in the morning. Go to sleep by 1 o'clock. Wake up in the morning. Go to work. Do the same thing again. I worked on this film for 3 months. 3 months straight editing. 3 months straight editing. I started editing in in October. I edited in October, November, December, and then for 3 months, and then for 2 more months, January, February, I had to learn how to color grade. I literally, so I didn't know how to color grade at all. I only know how to mess with the contrast. When I was color grading, I literally had to take a 4-hour course on color grading. I took a 4-hour course on color grading on YouTube. So if you say you can't do nothing, you can do it. I took a 4-hour course on YouTube, learned how to color grade. Once I learned how to color grade, now it's like about February. March is when now I had to do the sound effects. I literally sat in my house and literally had to learn everything about engineering and sound. I did that for actually 1 entire month. So I was actually sitting in my house every day doing doing voiceovers every single day. My mom got annoyed, and I was in her house. My mom got annoyed. Then people walking across the streets, hearing me from my window, hearing I was doing all types of clown, saps, beating my bed, jumping up and down on the ground, using my mic outside. I was outside actually with my camera and crunching on leaves to do certain sound effects for certain parts of the scene. What else did I do? I actually, what else did I do? I had my mom hold my camera so I could do things with my belt, so I can do certain smacks, do certain jumps, do certain outside noises. I actually left my camera on outside at the time. No, I didn't. I actually went on the internet at the time, and I had to look up certain sound effects too, so I could put it under the clip. So I'm thinking this is going to be easy, but for what I learned as a engineer now, you can't put any type of sounds under your footage, because even though there's certain sounds you can put under your footage, it can blend in with your movie. There's certain things the ear can tell that this is today's certain sound, not an old-fashioned sound. So I had to go look up old-fashioned sounds to blend them with the movie. Now I finally got the sound complete. Once I edit everything together, I had to go read back and do 5 more edits, because now everything's put together. I had to make sure everything was in sync, everything was right. And as everybody who knows about films and editing, when your whole entire film is done, you have to keep rewatching, make sure everything's in sync with each other, everything moves with each other perfectly. Because there's certain small things you can always see that you can always fix. Once I did that, that's when I had to go finally put the subtitles in. I thought the subtitles was gonna be easy. They was actually kind of easy to do, but I was doing different things. So with the director's cut, I had subtitles that appear and disappear, appear, disappear, appear, disappear, appear, disappear at the time. Then I also had something. Then for the regular cut, the regular one I did, I had subtitles that stayed up here until the character was done talking. So I went with 2 different choices. I went with both of them, but one's the director's cut and one's the main cut. The main cut is the one where the subtitles stay up there. At this point, I was done. But then I said, it's missing something. What's missing? Then I said, you know what? I need to show that there's actual animals here instead of hearing the sound effects. So what I did was, I tried to contact other engineers and other graphic artists around Philadelphia and around the United States, and I couldn't get in contact with anybody. So it was hard. Then finally, a lot of them got back in contact with me, but it was like, look, I can see you're a aspiring filmmaker. I'm going to have to charge you about $1,000 a day, or I could be nice to charge you probably like $500 every other week. I couldn't, $500 every other week was going to be crap in your face. I couldn't afford that. So then I had to really look deep down in myself and say, Drew, if you want these effects, you gotta fight hard. So what I did was I actually went to NGL Studios all the way over in Japan, contact them. They got back contact with me. They looked at the film. They said, dude, you freaking love this film, dude. We can tell you did it with a small crew. Yeah, I want to help you. I was like, okay, how much is it going to cost me? No. All you got to do is give us a shout out. We'll help you out. We got some footage. We can help you, man. I was like, so people from all the way overseas in Japan, these guys are nice, these guys are awesome. They hit me up, they worked with me, they looked at the film, worked with me, sent the film back, worked with me, edited the film, worked with me, and then they did it for me. So now it's officially done. We got the effects are working right, and now at this point, I don't know what to do at this point. I'm like, all right, should I put this in film festivals? What should I do? And I'm thinking, nah, don't put it in film festivals, just release it. Because film festivals, they're hard to get into, people are not going to appreciate, and it was a complicated process. So then I told everybody, hey, I'm just going to release the film, because at the end of the day, I just love doing films. If I get notoriety for it, fine. If I don't, hey, that's fine too, just as long as when people see it, they will enjoy it. And ever since I released this film, Pangea, I've been getting stellar reviews. A lot of people say I could do a lot of things better. With the directing part, which they was actually cool with, everybody gave me bad feedback on the second fight scene when everybody's crowding around cheering, but that's only advice. The other advice is they say they understand it because they could tell something happened that day, which was some of the actors wanted to leave. They was getting hot, they was getting tired because we was looking for a new location that day. But other than that, I finally got done the film and I finally released Pangea. So that's really my small little backstory and everything. And when I finally got it done and you saw all the editing lines and all the things that I had to do, man, it was a journey. I literally started about 3 or 4 years ago, and now I'm done now. And you know, it's great. Shout out to Film Riot, because looking at Film Riot, listening to him, man, he always told me, look, it's going to be hard, it's going to be tedious, but as you keep going along, as you keep building an audience, they will help you out. And you know, they just help me out from there. So all in all, this was my biggest project yet, and I'm hoping to go actually even bigger. This project was something special to me. All the trials and tribulations that I went through, man, all the people that helped me out. Once again, thank you, Josh or Ashton Davidson, for helping me out doing the videography work. Thank you, Underground Studios / Wendell, for helping me doing the work. videography work. Thank you, Saj, for helping me find out location. And Saj actually did help me out on this project at the time with his Sony camera, but I wound up going different directions, so he didn't help me out with the rest at the time. Thank you, actors who came out: John 1, John 2, Eben, Vlad, David, Anthony, Norman, Anita, Charles, and like I said, last but not least, CJ. Thank y'all for really helping me out with this project. Y'all really did do a great job on it. I hope y'all take this footage. I hope it helps you out wherever you go. Thank you also to Dr. Anika and your son too. Yeah, this is just phenomenal. Thank you, Karen, for always helping us drive around. Thank you, Mom, Miss Bertha Shields. She definitely did. Yes, Miss Bertha Shields, my mother. She drove us around. She actually supplied the snacks for us. Well, really water all the time. She actually let me borrow her She actually let me borrow her car that she doesn't even want me to even borrow a lot of the time. So it was a lot of people helped me out in this project. A lot of people helped me put their blood, sweat, and tears into this. The state park rangers, they helped me do it. This was my biggest project yet, and like I said, there's definitely going to be much more to come. But until next time, y'all.